My name is Andrew Lown. I'm age 37. My tribe is the Oneida of the Six Nations of the Grand River. Well, because of my granny, I've got this card in my pocket, my status card. The last time I visited my grandmother at where she was buried was the day of the funeral. She never spoke to me about anything traditional. The reality of the situation is that I don't know the cultural meaning of having my status card. And that's something I hope I really learn.
How long have we actually known each other? Because in my mind, I see us starting to interact around 1997. 22 years now.
Yeah, about that.
What year was it that you actually got your status card?
2017.
But was it your grandmother's passing that led you to go out and get it?
No. It was I was never eligible for it. It ended with my dad. The Canadian government passed Bill C-3 saying that the grandchildren of the grandmother could also get their Indigenous status.
I was kind of like on your case.
Yeah.
That you got to get it.
It's just when you grow up, okay?
Yeah.
And your grandmother is Indigenous.
Yes.
Okay, and she doesn't tell you anything about it.
Right.
And your parents, your family, and you don't learn anything about it. There's a huge disconnect. We've got some really great photos in here. It's all childhood photos and really great memories of my grandma. The first one, obviously, I don't remember. I was a baby. Every picture that we're in together, we both have big smiles on our faces. I feel like my granny was definitely the rock that kept everything together. If there's a photo that kind of sums up my granny, it's this one here. She's just got this huge smile on her face. She was always laughing, and she just had that laugh. You just can't forget that laugh. Hey, Dad, how are you?
She was a fun person. She liked to laugh. She liked to joke around. She was a lovely woman.
Growing up, did you guys more go to church? Did you guys do any
We belonged to church in Crescent Park, Brother in Christ Church, and then we were all members of St. Paul's Anglican Church, and that's where her remains are, is over there in the St. Paul's Anglican Cemetery.
So Grandma didn't really make up, like when you guys were growing up, she didn't make Indigenous cuisine or anything like that,
Never.
right?
She would like making spaghetti and meatballs and stuff like that, and lasagnas and stuff like that.
So, I'm just wondering if she knew, you know what I mean? I wonder if she knew the cuisine and
I'm
stuff.
going to tell you, Andrew, when she was growing up, they didn't have much food.
Yeah.
And she told me that a lot of times all they had to eat was potatoes. She had a very hard life, you know. She was raised by her grandparents in Hagersville, and they lived on a farm, and they were very poor.
Grandma married Grandpa, and she lost her status.
Yes, she did. If they married a white man, they lost it.
And then I guess that kind of leads to like me getting my status card.
No, I know, and you were blessed to get that because that's your native heritage, and they've honored that for you, you know. So something proud to have, you know.
But we still have a lot to learn. So this is a map of the Six Nations.
Where's your grandma from?
My grandmother, on her birth certificate, we're Oneida.
Okay.
And then it says she was born on the Mississauga of the New Credit Reserve.
Okay, so that's right here. So this would be the blue section here where it says new credit.
With the status card, us being Oneida, I've talked to other people and they say that they're not, you know what I mean? They're actually Mohawk or there's that. Is that, like, how would that happen?
It's because of the line that it follows. So they follow the male line, but we follow the female line. So the record that you're getting from the government will always be different than what you actually are.
What do you think about this, like the status card? Do you like the name? Like, I personally don't like the name.
To have an actual card itself is even a very colonized idea that, you know, they're almost monitoring like how Indigenous are you? So this is the section on residential school. A day in the life of a residential school student would look like a very structured day. Not only were they going to school, they were also doing manual labor. Male students would go and work on the farm. The female students would work on cleaning. They weren't allowed to speak in their language during any of the day as well. If a student was lucky enough to go through without being molested or being beat, they were still losing their language. They were still losing their culture. They'd often get out of the school and not know their family. They wouldn't know where they came from, so they didn't have a home.
So with my grandma being born in 1921, is there a good chance that she went
There's a very good chance.
to this
she
school?
would. Yes.
'Cause I don't think anybody in my family knows that.
Well, if she didn't attend, that doesn't mean she wasn't affected by it. She could have had siblings attend. She could have had her parents attend or relatives, and it's a ripple effect. They went to take my grandma, my great-grandfather. He said she'd learn English, she'd go to church. It meant that she didn't go to Longhouse. She didn't learn her language. That trickled down. So it meant that my mom went to church. My mom never learned the language. And that trickled down to me.
It's really hard to hear, to be honest, like just to think that, you know, my grandmother might have went to this school. To me, it's almost unfathomable. And it's something that, you know what I mean, nobody in my family, I don't think anybody understands like how, because I sure didn't, like how bad this was and like how much this hits home. And I hope she didn't. But I mean, all these beautiful kids that did, that are in this community, that all across Canada, it's just really, really, you know, I feel for them. Hi, how are you?
Hello.
I'm Andrew.
Laughter is medicine. Yes, because it uses a lot of our endorphins, our muscles, a lot of our muscles. You know, we got these big belly laughs or whatever, you know, like we just shake it. And, you know, it comes out and it unfreezes our voice and everything here,
Yeah.
too, because laughter is medicine.
Out of anybody I've met, like seriously, my grandmother she had such a big personality and she had such a laugh that you would never forget it. And you know, that's where, you know, people I know, that's me. I am the same way, and that's where I got that from. It's from my grandmother, and it's from that side for sure, just to show that to the world.
That split up of the family, the intergenerational stuff, all happened from a long time ago because my grandmother was here in 1917 and was never talked about. And I didn't talk about this until 19 years ago. I'm 63 now. So I kept all these secrets and everything inside, right? Self-confidence, self-worth, and self-esteem start spiraling down, you know? And once you start feeling yourself down, you feel so alone.
It's deep down to your core to not know who you are.
Yeah.
My grandmother was born in 1921, you know, and I don't know any traditions. The building definitely had a tremendous effect on the community because everybody didn't know who they were. I'm trying to learn. How does a young person that's been affected by the schools learn? How can they learn more about their traditions and their culture and their language?
It's out there. You just have to take that step to go, and you gotta want to do it, right? Because it's within you. Your language is within you. That's why you're seeking it to this day. You're seeking your true self.
It was very inspiring to speak with Charlene today. It's all about learning. And as she said, it's a lifelong thing. It's not gonna, you know, it's gonna take a while to learn everything, and I'm up for that. Today's the day I'm gonna do some research. So right now I'm just checking some stuff up online. And it looks like there's a lot of stuff going on at the Native Center in Toronto. I feel like I'm my grandmother's voice because I'm learning things she wasn't even allowed to learn. Today's a really exciting day. I've got some traditional Indigenous recipes I'm gonna try and make. This isn't something that ends tomorrow or ends at the end of the year, or I'm 38 this year. This learning process is gonna happen until, you know, I'm gone. It looks like every night of the week, they've got a different thing. They've got a hand drumming night. They've got a regalia making class. And then they've got beginner languages, which is really cool. This isn't bad for a first try, Dad.
Oh, it's delicious. Really good. Grandma will be proud of you.
I think so. The old saying is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Maybe we can. You know, it's pretty amazing. Grandma was an amazing woman, and you know, I get to carry it on.
Yeah, and she didn't want to share a lot of that stuff, you know, with us
No,
because.
well, she wasn't allowed to.
Hey, there you go.
She wasn't allowed to. It's my responsibility to show this story, and it's been hard at times. But I have to show this story because there's kids, you know what I mean, that they might not know their culture. There might be adults, they don't know their culture. The plan was to eliminate the Indigenous culture. And me being third generation, I'm gonna say, hell no, that ain't gonna happen. And that is gonna be my life work. Hey, Granny, it's Andrew. It's very comforting being at this spot with you. You know, I'm just so proud of you, Grandma, like honestly. And to be honest, you know, like I should have been here sooner.